Hi everyone, Jasmine here. So I see that we had a lot of people who jumped on an hour ago, and I'll just say sorry for that. We don't have daylight savings in Costa Rica, and it doesn't look like my emails got updated with the new time zone. So sorry about that for people who jumped on a little early. Um, for those of you who are here, welcome. My name is Jasmine. I love blogging. And what I do with this video every month is I like to just talk about blogging. I usually come with some learning lessons or something that I've been working on blog wise to share with everyone. And then I answer your questions live, obviously. So I saw we had some people who, let's see here, who posted some questions. So I'm going to get to those. But first, a quick introduction. Hi, I'm Jasmine. I've been blogging for 12 years next month, in a couple of months. So I obviously like it since I'm still doing it. And yeah, I just like to talk about blogging. So, something that I'm going to discuss with you guys today is blogging when it comes to updating old content. So, one one topic I hear a lot in different blogging communities is, should I be spending more time updating old content, or should I spend more time creating new content? And this is a question that I was asking myself because I spent a great deal of time developing new content for my newer blog called Blogging Money Live. And we recently decided to halt with creating content and focus on updating old content, just because we've been around for a couple of years now. And usually the rule of thumb is, when it comes to updating old content, you want something that's at least a year old before you start making changes to it. And yeah, and there's a lot of rules that go into that. So I'm going to talk about that today. But first, I want to say hi to everyone who came by and said hello. Selfless esteem. Say hi, Eliza, Nathaniel. Hi, Eliza. I see people are asking questions about if it's going to happen. So sorry about that. Oh, okay. So Eliza says, if you're still here, can you ask her if we can put links in our blog posts if we aren't a part of an affiliate program yet? Okay, so this is a really good question. So I think Eliza's asking, can she link to different products on her blog posts, even if she's not an affiliate? So my question is, if you're putting a link to a product or someone else's product in your blog, um, yeah, if you're not getting paid or some commission for it, then it's perfectly okay for you to add a link. And the benefit of that is you don't have to disclose it as an affiliate link. So it can be do follow, and you don't have to say, put the disclosure before linking to an affiliate. Now, if you do decide to um, join an affiliate program, you're going to have to update that link everywhere on your website. And that can be annoying. So I can tell you about something that I like to use, and it's amazing for situations like this. Now, this is not going to be a problem you run into if you have a smaller blog. If you only have, I don't know, a few web articles that you know that a product is included in, because who cares if it's only a few articles that you have to update. But with my site, Miss Millennia, has been around for 12 years. And whenever, let's say, an affiliate doesn't have an affiliate program anymore, or they move to a different platform, which happens fairly often, believe it or not, when that happens, then I have to go through all the articles, which can be, 15, 20, 25 articles mentioning a specific affiliate, and update the links and make sure I don't miss it in any pictures, any links, any like third-party tools that I'm using. So it can be a little bit of a pain when it comes to updating old links on your site. So I want to tell you about a tool that I use. And what's awesome about this tool is that it benefits you in a lot of ways. And one way that it benefited me is I actually started making more money using it than I did with just putting affiliate links in my site. So the tool I am referring to is called Lasso. So I'm going to give you the link. It's my affiliate link. So you have that. And just so you know, like, it doesn't cost you anything extra to click on my affiliate link. It's just I get credit for referring you if you decide to go forward with it. But what I'll do is I'll show you guys the back end for this tool that helps with links. And the way it works is, let's say that you use a regular link initially, and then you get added to an affiliate program. Now you have to go change that link on all the articles that you've included it in. Well, you just go into the platform and you change it in one place, and it automatically updates all of your affiliate links on your website. And that's it. It works very simply that way. So like I said, it's called Lasso. I'm going to give you the link right here. Give me a second. Okay, so great tool for affiliate links. All right, I'll go ahead and show you guys. It's just missmillmag.com/lasso, and it's a great tool for affiliate links. So what I am going to do now is just show you guys really quick what Lasso looks like on the back end, because it's amazing. So let me share my screen. Here we go. All right, so when you are in WordPress, you have the plugin Lasso, and then you just go to the dashboard. So when I go to dashboard for this, what it does is it shows me all of my affiliate links. So this is the one I just pulled for you guys. That's why you see it here. And the way it works is I just put in the affiliate link. I can make a permalink so it looks pretty. So in this case, instead of giving you guys this ugly URL, I just gave you my blog name /Lasso, and that comes in handy for sure. But what's really cool is not only does it make affiliate links for you that are pretty, it also gives you the ability to set up a little display. So when I put the link in, it automatically pulled the title from the website. I can add things to the description here. So I can say Lasso is an excellent tool when it comes to affiliate marketing. Sign up to get a discount today. So I can add that here. And now I have this little, looks like it timed out. All right, well, so much for that demonstration. I'll go ahead and let that refresh, but you get the gist of what it does. It's a pretty cool tool. And because you have the ability to create those icons, or not icons, I guess, like displays that you can insert into your articles, they're way more engaging. People are more likely to click and buy when you click on those forms. So that helps. All right, so let's see here. That was a good question. Oh, Eliza, expand on this question. Can we link our products to an Amazon link if we aren't a part of that program yet? Yes, of course, definitely. Should I turn everything in chat? Okay. All right, I have another question from Lois. Lois says, question 1, I have web stories, but Google AdSense says it conflicts with Ezoic. I haven't started Ezoic, but do you think it is better to get web stories traffic anyway? I'm going to say yes, web stories. And I'm so glad you brought this up, because this was one of the things I wanted to talk about today. Web stories has been amazing for me as far as like being able to use it and get more traffic. I'm going to share my screen and show you guys my Google Search Console and give you a brief, I guess, overview about web stories, because web stories is amazing. Let me print out my screen. Okay. So my dashboard, Web Stories, it's a plugin. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Once I'm logged into Web Stories, I just go ahead and go to Stories on the left. I mean, what words? Web Stories. Once I'm logged into WordPress, I go to the Stories icon on the left, and then that takes you straight over to Web Stories. And what Web Stories is, it's pretty much like creating, I don't know, like reels, like Instagram reels or Facebook stories. But what's awesome about it is that it's not a social media channel, it's on your website. So here are all my stories I have for Blogging Money Life. And if I were to click on one of these, so this is one that I published recently, or no, it is in January. That's okay. So when you click on it, the tool lets you build out different stories, and they're just like different slides you can design, and you can add animations to them. You can add links. And what I do is I create these for each article that I have on my website. And at the bottom of these, I have the link for them to check out the full article so they can read that full content there. And then I also tell them, like, hey, you can sign up for the affiliate that's in this article. And then, at the end, tell them to go read more. Now, I want to show you what this looks like, because I told you it's not going to social media, it's going to your actual website. So this gives you an idea, but I'm just going to open it up. So when people go to it, it's usually on their mobile devices because it comes up in Google Discover. So if you've ever searched on Google, and then there's a little section called Discover on your phone, and this is where you would see these. So this is showing you what this story looks like for me. And if you look up at the URL, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but the URL is my bloggingmoneylife.com/web stories, and then the name of that story. So any traffic that's going to these web stories, even though it may not look like it, I'm still getting traffic to my website. Anyone who's on this page right here. So you may be wondering, okay, that's cool. Yes, like I have stories on my website, and it looks like it's very separated from my website. Why does it matter? I'll show you why. I am going to share my Google Search Console with you. And if you do not have Google Search Console, you should definitely sign up for it. You can link it right to your Google Analytics account. And what Google Search Console does is it's pretty much like your gateway into Google, to be able for Google to tell you, hey, this is doing well, or here are some things you can do to improve your site to get more organic traffic. And if you look at my Google Search Console, this is my life before web stories, and this is my life after. So I've had a little spike, and then, it gradually got a little higher, and then I had another spike, and then it gradually got a little higher. So that's been my the trend so far for me when it comes to using Google Web Stories. Now you have the search results, and then you have Discover. And when I go to Discover, excuse me, when I go to Discover, the only thing you see here are my web stories, with the exception of one single blog post. But they're doing great. Like, I'm getting this one web story alone is getting 1,400 clicks to my website. And that's just incredible. And the best news of all of this is, like, I started dabbling around with web stories in mid-February. And, by the end of March, with me consistently creating more web stories, like, it's really taken off as far as just getting more organic traffic to my site. So your question on, is web stories worth it? Yes, by all means, I definitely jump on it. It's cool because it's still fairly new, and I don't think everyone knows about it. And it's free. Like, you can put the plugin on your website. You can create the web stories for free for yourself, and you can't get discouraged if you don't see like a pop-up traffic immediately, which I kind of was expecting that. 3 weeks went by and nothing was really happening with my web stories, and now, it's been 2 months since I started doing Google Web Stories, and I can't recommend it enough. So I think that's a good question, and it should be a priority for sure. Good question. It looks like Lois has another question. Should I add web stories on the sponsorship pricing calculator? If so, how would I put it in the green column and calculate it? Oh, this is a good question. So Lois sounds like she's using. I have a calculator I created for how you should price out sponsorship sponsorships. So I have it for social media. I have for email, doing articles, but I do not have anything for web stories. So that's a good question. I think I don't know what the cost should be for a web story, but the thing is, like, you can get so much traffic to a web story, and it can take some time. I know an average time for me when it comes to creating a web story is like 40 minutes to an hour and a half, especially if you're putting in different animations. You got to find all the images for all the different screens. So I think it's a good deal of time to create them. Not as much time as it would take you, though, to do an article. I would probably I would probably do a percentage of whatever you charge for an article, but I'm not sure what that percentage is. That's a good question. I need to ponder on that a little bit more because honestly, I just haven't. I never thought to offer that for a sponsorship. But do let me know if you are getting that where people are asking to do a sponsor web story. The thing is, with web stories is they're hit or miss, right? So I showed you I have like 16 different web stories, and there are 10 or 9 of them that are doing really well for me. And I have some theories as to why some do well and why some don't. Nothing is set in stone because I'm still early on and I'm testing things. But I have found that it's hard for me to charge for something if I don't know if it's going to take off, I guess is what I'm saying. So yeah, it's not something I would be comfortable with offering a sponsor because I can't guarantee that they're going to get good traffic for that web story. It could just be a flop. But that's a good question. The answer is I don't know how much you should be charging for it. And the reason is because I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know how, I wouldn't charge for anything if I don't know how to guarantee some results for that customer. So for example, if I charge someone for social media posts, the post may flop, the post may do well on its own organically. If I use my tips that I know it should do well organically, and if for some reason it doesn't, I can just do an ad for that social media post, and it'll still be a good value for the brand. But what you don't want to do is develop something where you're not producing good results and people are paying you, because then that can mess with your reputation. So yeah, long story short, I don't have a good answer for that, but I'm glad you're thinking about that. Selfless Esteem says, thanks for this. I like to know, what do you do to make your site ADA compliant? Okay, so the ADA compliant meaning American Disabilities Act compliant. Um, the only thing I'm currently doing for that is I focus on making sure that I have alt tags on my images on my website, and that's about it. I know something that I'm doing from a YouTube perspective is I make sure that I have transcriptions on my videos, but I know that can get expensive if you're trying to pay someone to transcribe. That's something we were doing on our YouTube channel for a while. But what we did for that is YouTube will automatically create transcriptions. They're not always 100% accurate. So I'll just read through what YouTube creates, adjust it, and then I go in and make sure it gets added. So that's about it. That's all I've done as far as like making my site ADA compliant. That's a good question, and it makes me want to do some more research on that, because your site should be ADA compliant. I completely agree. Good question. Mr. Web Stories says, hi, Jasmine. Hi. Glad to have you here, Mr. Web Stories. Lois says, I have 4 web stories on my page. Nice. Good job, Lois. I don't know how long you've been doing it, but I hope that you have at least one take off for you, because it's huge. It's huge as far as like being able to get some organic traffic. I know for me, just running the Google Web Stories has doubled my organic traffic in a month. So it's insane. Yeah, it's worth the time. So much so that I've spent more time optimizing my site and the content that's there than I've spent on creating new content. And it's the biggest jump I've seen as far as traffic goes. So you guys continue to post your questions in the chat and I'll make sure to get them answered. But I'm going to jump into my topic for today. And I'm glad, Lois, you talked about web stories because it falls right into what I wanted to discuss today anyway. All right, so should you be updating old content? And I think the answer for that is going to be it varies from blog to blog. So I think the first criteria on if you should be focusing on updating old content or not is how long has your blog been around? If it's been around for less than a year, you should not be updating old content. Your content's not old enough to be updated. Now, if you have been blogging for more than a year, then I recommend probably looking at some of the older content and finding opportunities to update content that may not be as good. For those of you who have been writing online for a while, I don't know about you, but when I go back through content I wrote a year ago, I'm like cringe. Like, I can't believe I wrote this. This is garbage compared to how much I've developed as a writer now. So you may want to update it for that. But there are some certain criteria that I look at now when it comes to updating old content. One being having access to tools that I did not have before. So one of those tools that I like to use when it comes to updating old content for me is Rank IQ. And I know that for those of you who've been on my calls before, you probably heard me talk about Rank IQ ad nauseum. I'm going to go ahead and share the link with you guys. It's my affiliate link, but I use Rank IQ has become such a big part of my blogging strategy that I can't see myself blogging without it anymore. And it's played a big role in me getting more traffic and me optimizing my content and me creating new content. So let me share my screen really quick and I'm going to show you guys, if you've never seen Rank IQ, what it is, what it does, and how I use it to optimize old content. So this is Rank IQ. It's a really simple site. You have reports on this section here. These are all the reports I've purchased. I get 8 reports a month, and that means that that's keywords that you can actually run, and they do research on it. So I'll show you one of my reports that I've already written an article about. Let's see here. Which one? Oh, Costa Rica in April, because that is coming up and I've already written it. So I'm going to show you when I go to this, it gives me a keyword. It tells me what grade I have to get, what the word count needs to be, and then it tells me how quickly I can rank. Now, you usually want to go with ultra fast, very fast, if you're really trying to grow your organic traffic. But it gives you so much detail here as far as like the top keywords that Google likes in this post. And then it looks at different titles and what words that you should include to rank higher. And this is new. You actually can put in a title and they'll grade you on how they think you'll do from an organic perspective, which that's interesting because I haven't tried it yet. And then it shows you what the top articles are right now for that particular keyword, and then highest grade SERPs. So this is all really cool information, but what's really cool is when you go to the content optimizer, I write all of my content in Rank IQ. So they tell me what my target goal is for how many words, what the grade should be. Your grade is determined on how many of these keywords you get in your article. And the ones on top are weighted heavier than the ones on the bottom. So it's good to make sure that you're including those. And then I just write my article here. I edit it and put it in WordPress after that and get it published. What is nice about this is they have a keyword library where I can search by different categories, parenting, mindset. Look at these keywords. I can rank, sort it based on how long, how fast or slow I can rank. But something I did not know, and this wasn't until someone from Rank IQ reached out to me and told me this, you don't have to go through these keywords. Like, you're not limited to what's here. You can also take a keyword of your own, plug it in, and run a report. And that's something that I've been doing for older pieces of content. I just showed you one that's new, but I have articles that I've written already. So for example, swag butts review. I wrote this article years ago. And that's the keyword I was targeting when I wrote it years ago. So I put it in and they gave me an SEO report. And they told me it's going to take a long time to rank for it. So that's one risk you run with doing this because you don't know how long it's going to rank. But they still gave me some really good tips on how to improve the article. So there's that. But then sometimes you get one and they say you can rank really fast. So it's a little bit risky, but it's worth it. So here's one. This is an article that I wrote over 5 years ago now. And it did well for me at one point. And they told me I could rank very fast for it. And this is one where when I put in my original article that I wrote, I got an F for SEO, even though I have way more words than what is the target. So I need to do some work here to optimize this piece of content. But once I do it, Rank IQ is telling me you're going to rank very fast for this. So this has been very helpful to use Rank IQ this way. Prior to these last couple of months, I mostly only use Rank IQ to write new content. So it's just another way to update old content and go from there. Now, what content should you be updating? Well, there's another section in Rank IQ that I love, and it's called Check Rankings. So what I do with this is you link it to your Google Search Console. I have quite a few on Google Search Console. So I'm going to pull up Blogging Money Life and run an analysis. And what it does is it is pulling data from Google Search Console to tell me what my top keywords are that I'm currently ranking for. And it's looking at it on a 28-day period. So it says where I rank right now and then where I ranked 28 days ago. So if it's green, that means I have moved up in the rank. If it's red, I've moved down. And then it's gray, I think, if I stay the same. So this shows me my top keywords. And then I have an organic traffic summary. See, it's taken off since I've been doing my web stories. And the most interesting part here, it has pages with the most traffic in the last 28 days, but they have a section for pages that are experiencing traffic growth, and it shows how it's grown over the last 28 days. But let's see here. It also shows pages that are getting some traffic contraction, meaning that they were getting good traffic at one point and now they're losing it. So this is a good report because this tells me that, all right, I probably need to update these articles because they are losing traffic. But it's not just a matter of looking at articles that are losing traffic. This is the last 28 days. This is the last 6 months. I focus more on the last 6 months. So I can look at an article. I see that it's getting 45 less page views than it did 6 months prior. And then what I do is I check on that article to see when did I publish it. I published this March of 2021. So it's been 2 years since I last updated this article. So it's due for a refresh. So now I have that on my side. I know that is losing traffic and I know that it's overdue for being updated because it's been over a year since then. So then what I would do is I would find my keyword that I use for this particular article. And I know it's probably, my keyword is most likely in my title. So best books about blogging. I would find that at Rank IQ. And then I would plug in my article for Rank IQ to tell me how I can improve it. So let's see here. Best books. No. Maybe I already did this one. Best books. Oh. All right. So this is what I can plug in and say that so Rank IQ can tell me where I need to grow my traffic. So I haven't done it yet though. So yeah, that's how I update old content. I'm going to stop sharing and go back to see if you guys have any questions. All right. So a question from Lois. Lois says, do you put a link on each poster of the web story? Yes. Yes, I do. So sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm experimenting, right? Because web stories is still so very new for me. I've been experimenting with putting on every other poster. to see how it performs. But I'm all for making sure that you get the most out of what you're creating, especially since it takes so much time to set it up. So yeah, I usually have a call to action on every page because you don't know which page people are going to click out of. And if they happen to go through your first three, you didn't have a link there, then you just miss an opportunity for them to go to your content. Something that's really cool about web stories, I'll share my screen to show you, is that I am getting more traffic to the original article because of the web story. And it's because of how I'm setting it up. So you asked me if I have a link to every page on my web story, and the answer is most of the time yes. And when I look at my top content, my number one piece of content right now is my web stories on how to make money with an email list. But then my second top piece of content is the original article, how to make money with an email list. Now, this article was already my top article before I did a Google web story for it, but it is getting even more traffic now because it's getting traffic from the web story. So there is a method to the madness as far as like putting in a link for people to go to the article, the original article. What I've seen so far is if you have an article that does well on your website, there's a higher likelihood, does well organically, I want to say, there's a higher likelihood that it's going to do well in the web story as well, because now you're ranking for Google discovery and for Google search for that particular topic. So I would, if you're trying to figure out how to get started with web stories, or you're not sure which articles you should focus on, I would focus on your top content first. That's what I've noticed. Now, it could be a fluke for me, but betting, if I had to bet, that's what I would do. Now, for some of this, like, it was not even the top article for me. So, for example, the next one you see here is the web stories for the best affiliate marketing tips for new bloggers. This is a video I created that I also made a blog post. The video did really well on YouTube. The blog post, not so much. It didn't really take off the way that my YouTube video did. And that's okay, because it just means I can get more traffic to my YouTube video because it's embedded in the article. Well, when I did a web story for it, it took off. Now it is my number 3 top piece of content. And the interesting part is now this is the article for the web story, is in my top 5, where it used to be maybe my top 50 pieces of content. So I've seen this happen for a few of my articles, where the web story takes off and it just slowly makes its way higher up on the rank. And the same thing's happening for this article here, my best baby carriers to travel in 2023. The article is slowly improving as far as like the organic traffic it's getting compared to other content. So yeah, that's my take on Google Web Stories. Good question. All right, so I started talking a little bit about my Google Web Story strategy, and it's really, I don't have one. I'm testing things. I'm seeing what happens. The only thing I know for sure is like content that does well for you organically can do well for you organically for web stories. So that's how I would prioritize content. Something else I'm learning, and it's a theory that I have, is if you have content that performed well in the past, but is not performing well now, it may be a good idea to do a Google Web Story for it. It could help boost that article higher up on your ranks again. But what I'm really doing is I'm finding old pieces of content. I'll tell you what my strategy is right now. I'm finding old pieces of content that fit the criteria as far as is losing traffic compared to where it used to be before. It's over a year old since it's been updated, and it needs some work. So I find when I look at content, I'm going through Rank IQ, I'm finding the keyword, I'm updating it in Rank IQ, I'm creating a Google web story for it as well. So that, once I get that article launched, I'm also going to launch a web story and see if it takes off, because they're like boosting each other up. So there's that. And then something else I'm looking for when I'm editing old content, outside of just making sure it's organic, it's good, it has good SEO bones, is I'm making sure that it can make me some money. I usually add in affiliate links. I usually add in links to my products. If it's relevant to my products, I'll add in links to my products. And then there's always an opportunity too that if you have created content after this piece of content that could be related or relevant, I start hyperlinking content that's on my website into this article because you want your site to be sticky. I want people to read this and go, oh, I would love to learn more about this particular topic. Click through, and now they have another article of yours that they can read just from that article. So I do a lot of that, just linking from content on my website. It tells you affiliates. I'm adding product links. I'm updating the SEO. I go through and I update the pictures as well to make sure they're up to date and still fits. I'm double checking to make sure all of my links that are there work. I can't tell you how many affiliates like expire over the course of 2 years. So definitely make sure you're checking your links, make sure they still work. I know I talked about Lasso already, but something else that's cool about Lasso is they will tell you which of your URLs have a broken link. So those are pretty much telling you like, hey, just so you know, this affiliate doesn't exist anymore, or they probably moved to another platform. You need to just look into it or find an alternative. If you have been linking to a book on Amazon and now that book is no longer on Amazon, maybe you need to sign up for Barnes & Noble and link to that book there. And you only have to update it in one place, so it updates it all over your website. So another benefit to using Lasso. All right. So overall, that's my strategy. I focus a lot on SEO for updating old content, affiliate links. I'm looking at building up my Google Web Stories and making sure that that's continuing to grow. And yeah, I'm just watching and waiting. I've been so impressed with the results I've been seeing. I've seen articles that haven't received more than a few views a month just take off, and now they're getting hundreds, some even thousands of views a month, just from me updating the old content. So if you had to choose between, should I be focusing on updating old content or should I be focusing on writing new content? I would say, do you have more than 100 articles on your website? And if your answer is yes, I would say, okay, have you been around for longer than a year with your blog? And if you say yes, okay, let's look at, I think you should be working on updating old content and getting it republished. Now, when I say update old content, I mean like you are taking that piece of content and republishing it under a new date. So when I updated a piece that needs a lot of updating. I need to add new paragraphs. I need to completely change some parts. I need to remove things and add things to it. I update it and publish it under today's date. So that's what I mean when I say update old content. And that counts. All you have to do is make sure you resubmit it to Google Search Console after it gets published, and Google will treat it like a brand new article on your site. Now, it's not to say that updating old content is any easier than writing brand new content. I think they both have their own challenges. I think they take me around the same amount of time to update an old piece of content as it does to write a new piece of content, especially when I'm starting with Rank IQ. Rank IQ makes it so much easier for me to get started than me having to sit and think about what am I going to write about. So there's that. But yeah, I honestly think it depends on your goals. So if your goal is to make some serious cash with your blog in the next year, and you've been blogging for a little while, you're contemplating like giving up and you don't have as much time or capacity to create 30 new articles a month, then I would say, divide and conquer, like publish your 15 new articles a month and then, focus on doing 15 updated posts for the month. It's just different parts of your brain. Like I said, I don't think it's easier to update old content. But once you get into a certain rhythm, you do use different parts of your brain and get it updated. So yeah, I think both are important, but yeah, you shouldn't be updating old content unless it's at least a year old and you, um, and then as far as like using it instead of publishing new content, I would say make sure you have at least 100 posts on your site first because you're going to run out of content really quick as far as updating it if you have less than that. So yeah, that's my spiel. All right. Does anyone have any other questions? And it doesn't have to be about like what I talked about today in regard to updating old content versus creating new content, Google Web Stories, Google Search Console. It can be about whatever with blogging because I love talking about it. Looking over my stuff to see if there's any other tools or things that I may have missed um, to make sure that you guys have what you need to be successful with your blog stuff. Let's see here. Oh, something that's really cool. If you don't have it, Google Site Kit. I'll share my screen and show you what it looks like. So it's a plugin. It's free that you put on your website. And what Google Site Kit does is it just allows you to connect all your Google website stuff. So it shows some traffic here. This is pulling from Google Analytics for me. So I can see just a quick glance at what's happening there. And then it shows my search traffic, which is something that I can see in Google Analytics, but this is pulling it from Google Search Console now. So I see that, and then I can see the clicks, and people are coming, how many clicks are coming to my site. And this is also from Google Search Console because if you try to check on Google Analytics, they will not tell you what keywords people are searching for to get to your site. So I have mine in Google Search Console. And then it shows you my top content over the last 28 days. And if you were to click on any of this, like if I wanted to see more, it'll just take me to Google Analytics for this particular report. And then I can see more for my top content here. So you have that. And then it shows you more about like your page speed and how much money you're making. If you have your Google AdSense connected to this as well. And then it also shows me how much, what my top earning pages are from a Google AdSense perspective. Blogging Money Life is still a newer blog, and I don't have a ton of traffic to it, which is why we use AdSense. So using a tool like Google Sitekit is super helpful for me. I also have I don't know if I linked, I don't have my YouTube monetization on here, but that may be something I can add if they allow it. But this is a cool resource because it allows you to see all of your Google things in one place. And yeah, just gives you a good idea of where you're making your money, where you're getting your traffic, where it's coming from. Oh, and then this is the speed section. So they tell me what needs improvement as far as speed goes. And they give me some tips on how to improve it. But yeah, this is a nice plugin that I like. Again, it's free. And I can adjust some things to it as well, see how I'm going. But yeah, it's just another cool tool. I love to share when I find some really interesting things with you guys. So yeah, that's all I got. It doesn't look like anyone else has any other questions. But sorry about the email mix-up, guys. I'll make sure that I have that down pat next month so that I'm not late in you guys' eyes as far as the video. But thanks for coming. Thanks for all of your questions. Always had another question. So what ads do you use for your main site? So for Miss Millennia, I'm on Mediavine for that one. So that's what I use for that. You have to get to 50,000 sessions, I believe, to be added to Mediavine. But once you get there, then yeah, they pay you pretty well. So yeah, I was using Ezoic though for a while, Lois, before I got to Mediavine. And I'll tell you what I did. It took me a long time to get to my goal for Mediavine because Ezoic was holding me back. So I kept running into issues where my site speed was really slow. And when I was talking to different people who were helping me improve my site, because that was one of the things that was holding me back from getting more traffic, they said Ezoic is a huge plugin that they put on your website. It slowed down everything. And I said, yeah, you would be getting so much traffic if you just didn't have this on your site. And I was conflicted because I was getting paid by Ezoic. And I said, man, I don't want to like not make money like by taking this down. But I did. I took Ezoic down, even though I was making some money with it. And then I was accepted into Mediavine within a month or two after that. So, not saying that's the story for everyone, but it's just something to know with Ezoic. They have a very heavy plugin, and it can slow down the speed of your site. Now, that may not be a big deal for you right now, or you may have a really fast site, and that's not even that's a non-issue. So, yeah, but that's why I ended up getting rid of it. So, yeah. Other ad places I've used though, I think that have been great. Mediavine, I'm on, of course, and I have no complaints about them. I was on one called, what's it called? And it's funny because I invited my friend to do it so that she could. Just give me 1 second. I'll tell you what it is. And I don't think they're Monumetric. So they do have it where you have to have a minimum to be added for Monumetric. But what's cool about Monumetric is if you don't hit that minimum, you can pay a certain amount of money and they'll add you. And they're pretty good. You don't make as much as you would with Mediavine, but I was making pretty good money with Monumetric, more than I was making with Ezoic. And I didn't have any issues with it slowing down my site. So I'll just share the link to Monumetric here with you if you're interested. And I have a friend who's on Monumetric and she loves it. She's still working to get added to Mediavine. Yeah, and when she does, and she's probably gonna make the switch as well. So yeah, check it out. Let me know how you like it. So that's all I got. Thanks so much for coming, guys. Again, sorry I was late. And I will see you guys next month, the last Wednesday of the month. I will talk to you guys next month.